So in this session, I want to discuss another very interesting algorithm called quicksort. As the name suggests, quicksort is really quick. So again, a sorting algorithm. Again, much better than insertion, bubble, and selection. Arguably better than merge sort. So we can argue either ways. We'll talk about whether which one is better. Like we'll try to quantify all of that in the next couple of lectures when we'll be talking about time and space complexity. But for now, let's just take care of the let's try to learn the algorithm without worrying about whether it's faster than merge sort or not. So what is quicksort? So quicksort says, this is my list, right? Quicksort says that let's do one thing. Let's pick one element, one number, make it reach its right place. So 3, if you look here, after 1 and 2, 3 will be the next number in your list when it is sorted. So 3 has to come to this particular place. So it says take 3 to its required place. Pick any number, make 3 reach, take 3 to its right place. So you will make the list to be this. And now it says do something that everything smaller than 3 comes on this side and everything greater than 3 moves to this side. Okay, so we need to find an algorithm which basically what it does is, given a list, picks any element, finds its proper position, takes this element to its proper position, then it makes sure that everything on the left is smaller than this particular number and everything on the right is larger than this number. This does not mean the array has become sorted now. For example, I could end up with something like this. So 3 is at its right place, everything on left is smaller than 3, everything on the right is greater than 3, but the list is still not sorted. And we can decide if you have multiple 3s, what are you going to do? We'll take care of that as well. For now, let's just worry about that we have unique numbers. And once you're able to do this, then you can simply call quicksort on this side and quicksort on this side. These are smaller lists, so quicksort should be able to handle them. Base case, length 0, length 1. So length 0 and length 1 list is already sorted, you don't have to do anything. Then what do you do next? You partition your list into 2 halves such that there is a number in the middle, we can call it the pivot point. Everything in the left side is smaller than the pivot, everything on the right side is larger than the pivot. Okay, and we call it partitioning. So once you have partitioned it, you can call quicksort on one side and quicksort on the other side, and then the whole list will be sorted. So how is it different from merge sort? See, merge sort was just calling on the 2 halves. It was not doing any work upfront. Quicksort is doing a lot of work upfront. When the division is done, then it's calling recursion, like then it's making 2 recursive calls after the work is done. Merge sort was different. Merge sort was saying call merge sort on first half, call merge sort on second half. Now assume these 2 are sorted and then merge them together. But quicksort is doing a lot of work early on and then calling recursion afterwards. Secondly, I like quicksort a little better because you don't have to make copies. In case of merge sort, you have to make those 2 copies, the smaller, the first half and the second half. In quicksort, you will not need to create any extra space, any extra list. Everything will be able to manage that within the given list. Okay, so the code will look something like this. You'll get the array. You will have the base case. Once you've taken care of the base case, you will call something like a partition function. So it should partition your list into 2 halves and it should give you the index around which it has partitioned. So there will be some index where your pivot element is, and everything on the left is smaller, everything on the right is larger. Once you reach this place, we just need to call quicksort again. On our own list, we don't want to make a copy, so we will pass starting index and end index into it, so that we don't have to make a copy. Otherwise, we'll have to make a copy of this part and this part. I don't want to make a copy, so for this part I'm going to say from starting go till here. For this part I'll say from here go till the end. So I'm going to get a start index and an end index. So the first half will go from start till I minus 1. Then I'll call quicksort on. It will go from let's say I plus 1 till the end. So my base case will basically be so 0 or 1, right? Length 1 is also sorted. So if S is greater than equal to E, this basically means either S has crossed E, it has crossed E. In that case, we can say that the array is empty, the list is empty. Even in case they are equal, there is only one element, so there is no sorting required as such. Okay, so this can be my base case. So I have my base case. I need to write code for this, and if I am able to write code for this, I'll be done, right? So let's quickly see how can we, given a list, we need to partition it into two halves. So let's say we are given this starting index, we are given this end index, and we just need to work within this part. We don't have to look outside this, right? So we need to partition within this. So what I would suggest is, let's pick the first element itself, right? First of all, let's make this element reach its right position. To do that, let's go through this list from S to E, starting index to end index. Let's say this pivot element is P. Let's count number of elements less than P. So if you find that there are 5 elements which are less than P, that basically means you need to move P by 5 positions. You need to make space for those 5 positions because they will come before P, right? So you count a number of elements. Let's say this is C. So you move your element from Si to Si plus C to make space for those elements. Now, this is Si, this is end index. You have moved your pivot to this place, right? Pivot is at its right place. What do I do now? Extremely simple solution. You take an I at the beginning, you take a j at the end. If this number is less than P, then this number is at the right place. It's fine. We can move I. If this number is not at the right place, then wait. Check for the last element. If this number is greater than P, then this is fine. Move it. If this number is less than equal to P, or let's say less than P, then we can swap this number and this number. So basically, what are we saying? This is my pivot. I start from the beginning, I start from the end. I keep moving this, I keep moving this. I'll stop as soon as I find an element here which is larger than P, and I find an element here which is smaller than P, and I'll swap them. And then I'll keep moving. So basically, you start from here, you keep moving till you can find elements which are less than P. As soon as you find something which is greater than P, you stop and you start looking from this side. As soon as you find something which is less than P, you stop, and as soon as you stop, swap both of them. So both of these have reached the right place. So this way you will keep moving, and in the end you will reach the middle point, and once you reach there, both the sides will have the required elements. That basically, what was the requirement? Everything here, everything on left has to be less than P, everything on the right, I'm saying it has to be greater than equal to P. Not less than P, but greater than equal to P. So if you want to take care of equal cases as well. Okay. And if you are able to implement this, implementing quicksort is extremely easy. Okay. So that's what you need to implement. I had already written the pseudocode as well. So in quicksort, you will have the base case. After base case, you will call this partition. After partitioning, you will call quicksort on two halves, which is basically starting index till this point and from this point till the end index. Okay. So please try to code it yourself. Watch this particular video as many times as you want. If you want to again go through this to understand how much to move P by, where exactly it should move, I have explained all of that here. So please try to code it by yourself, because that'll give you a lot of confidence. Okay, thank you.